I thank God that the Torah is the first word, but not the final word in the sacred unfolding of our story. The rabbis understood that every period in the Torah is, in fact, an ellipsis, a chance to build out the possibilities of what the text might mean. Every page whispers, this isn't the whole story, so please, help me tell it. This dynamic is evident in the rabbinic response to the opening passage of this week's Parsha, a heartbreaking exchange between Moshe and God. Vaetchanan el Hashem ba'etahi lemor. And I, Moses, pleaded with God at that time, saying, please, let me into the promised land. Let me join my people, whom I've led through the ups and the downs into this next chapter of our liberation. Let my dream be fulfilled. At this point in the story, Moses already knows he won't be permitted to enter the land, condemned to die in the wilderness like so many of his generation. God's word appears to be final, but Moses is desperate. Moses is pleading one more time. Perhaps God will answer my prayer, Vaetchanan el Hashem. But God will have none of it. Enough. Rav lach. Al tosef daber elai od b'davar hazeh. Never speak to me on this matter again. What kind of response is this? It's cruel. It's painful to imagine. Moses, wearing his heart on his sleeve, gets the door slammed in his face. So much of the rabbinic commentary about these verses is an attempt to soften the moment, to restore compassion to God in the face of Moses' vulnerability. The rabbis dare to read our sacred text and say, there's more to the story. This morning, I want to share one of the most poignant examples of the rabbis doing justice. Any midrash, any rabbinic commentary is a window not only into the story it seeks to shed light on, but also a window into the rabbinic mind itself, a way to understand how the rabbis are grappling with the core questions of existence. I love the text we're going to learn together this morning because it reveals the rabbis' deepest hopes around the moment of death. In a sense, the questions that drive this text are not only about Moses and God, but questions we continue to wrestle with today. What happens in the moment of death? And what peace can be found when learning to let go? And so, friends, we turn now to our text. The time of Moses came to an end. A divine voice went forth saying, the end, your death, draws near. Now, I want to acknowledge, before moving any further, that some of us will know when our time is coming, but many won't. And how different this experience is when given the opportunity to prepare, to say goodbye, to find closure. This text finds Moses at the end of an extraordinary and full life. And we know too well that that gift isn't given to everyone. I'm sorry. I wish it was. And so I want us to hold the sensitivity that this text represents a dream not always fulfilled, the sincerest hope of what death ought to be. Perhaps it's the prayer the rabbis are writing for each of us. The time of Moses came to an end. The divine force went forth saying, the end, your death draws near. Moses responded to God, Master of the universe, Ribono Shel Olam, Remember the day when you were revealed to me in the burning bush and you said to me, 'Go, I'll send you to Pharaoh to bring forth my people, the children of Israel, from Egypt.' Remember the day when I stood upon Mount Sinai for 40 days and 40 nights. Please do not hand me over into the power of the angel of death." The divine voice answered, "Do not be afraid. I myself will attend to you and to your burial." It's a remarkable exchange. It's so human. The rabbis put into the mouth of Moses, the greatest prophet who ever lived, words we can all understand. "God, I'm not ready to die. I'm scared. Please, God, give me more time. Remember everything we've experienced together, everything we've been through. I'm not ready for this connection to end." He's bargaining. He's pleading. He's frightened. I'm struck by the language of, "Don't hand me over to the Malach HaMavet. Don't hand me over to the angel of death." Moses, the man who witnessed firsthand the 10th plague, the frightening power, the immense toll of death and destruction wrought by this messenger of God, don't abandon me to that terrifying angel. God will not grant Moses more time. That's not a promise God can make. Death is a part of life. Every living thing will and must someday die. We are tasked with accepting this reality. But God can and will hold you in your moment of fear. God can and will be by your side when terror grips your body and soul. At that time, Moses stood and purified himself like one of the angels. I wonder what this means. Kiddush atzmo. Moshe sanctified himself. I imagine he did what he needed to do to be ready for the moment of transition. Perhaps he found his loved ones and said goodbye one more time. "I love you," one more time. "Forgive me, I forgive you," one more time. He accepts the moment, turning inward, turning to God's embrace. The Holy One descended from the highest heavens to fetch the soul of Moses, and 3 ministering angels accompanied God, Michael, Gavriel, and Zagzagel. At least 2 of those make good baby names. Michael laid out the bier for Moses, and Gavriel spread a linen cloth at its head. Zagzagel stood at its foot with Michael on one side and Gavriel on the other side. Listen to this. God said to Moses, "Moses, shut your eyes." And he closed his eyes. God said, "Place your hand upon your chest." And he placed his hand on his chest. God said, "Put your feet close together." And he put his feet close together. Notice the incredible attunement to the integrated needs of body and soul in this moment. God and the angels recognize that they must help Moses' body learn to let go, release its hold, to soften the weight which planted it firmly on this earth. There is an embodied choreography to his dying, and God and the angels are attending to every step of the process. And I can't help but see as well in this paragraph echoes of the work of the Chevra Kadisha, those precious volunteers in our community and beyond who help prepare the body for burial, who wash and purify and dress the body of the deceased with love and care and precision. Then God called out to the soul within his body, saying, "My daughter, I allocated you 120 years to be in the body of Moses. Now your time for departure has arrived. Come out. Do not delay." The soul responded, "Master of the universe, I know that you are the God over all spirits and life forces. You created me and formed me and placed me in the body of Moses for 120 years. Is there a body in the universe that is purer than the body of Moses? I love him and do not wish to depart from him." God answered, "Soul, come out. Do not delay. And I will cause you to ascend to the highest heaven, and I will install you under the throne of glory next to the angels." Notice that here the conversation is between God and the soul. Unlike the first paragraph where Moses is pleading with God, this moment is different. Perhaps the transition is already underway. Consciousness has departed, and Moses' soul must now navigate the journey ahead. And it's not ready. It loved its home. For these 120 years, it loved its container here on earth. But once again, God does not meet this soul resistance with promises that God does not make. But God is tender and loving. "My daughter, life on earth is no longer your lot, but there is a place for you next to me. You won't be lost. You won't be alone." At that time, the Holy One kissed Moses and took his soul with a kiss. The Holy One began weeping. The Holy One began weeping. I thank the rabbis for this language. I too believe in a God who cries for and with us, who knows our suffering, who is anguished by the grief of this world. The Holy One began weeping. "Who will rise up for me against the wicked? Who will take a stand for me against the evildoers?" And the divine presence says, "There has not arisen another prophet in Israel like Moses. The heavens weep, the earth weeps, Joshua weeps, the angels eulogize, Israel mourns." And they all say, "Zecher tzadik livracha." The memory of the righteous is for a blessing. I want to close with a prayer. So perhaps you want to lower your gaze, close your eyes, take a deep breath. May the Holy One bless us and our loved ones with many years of good health and vitality, years of abundant love and meaningful service. May our dreams be fulfilled within our lifetime. And when the moment comes to say goodbye, grant us the wisdom and the grace to know how, to let go having loved life and being loved by those who have made life possible. May we never feel alone, always accompanied on the journey of life and on the journey of death. May we depart with a kiss. Ken we hear at